What's going on, guys? This is Life of E.L.T here, and today's story is a pretty interesting one. It's about the time when my gym teacher put me in timeout. If you guys enjoy this story, make sure you leave a like, and let's just start this. This story takes place when I was in second grade. During my second grade year, I was not really being the best student. There were times where I've gotten in a little too much trouble. I would talk over the teacher and not focus on my schoolwork. I would randomly scream in front of everyone in the classroom for obviously no reason whatsoever. And I remember specifically one time I was supposed to attend my piano lesson, which started at 3 p.m., and it was a Tuesday at this point, and it went on for 30 minutes before I had to leave. And I went to the bathroom and got some water because I was thirsty and the teacher gave me permission. But after I did that, I ended up picking up the phone in the hallway, grabbed the phone, called my grandmother, and basically told her to pick me up because I want to go home, which I couldn't do because it wasn't time to go home yet. And I got caught doing that. I'm going to have to save that for a story. But anyways, that's enough of that. That's for a different story time. But this certain day started off as a very normal day. I got up, ate breakfast. After I ate breakfast, I got dressed, hopped in my mom's car because I was living with my mom at this point, and I basically went to school. And some of the classes there included language arts, which is actually English at this point, math, social studies, science, and then we have a gym class, and then there's arts and crafts, sometimes at the end of the day, basically. And my English teacher was named Mrs. Jinkens, and I had her from first to second grade. And at third grade, I had Mrs. Carter for all my subjects. In first and second grade, I had Mrs. Carter for math, basically. And it was just as simple as that. And Mrs. Jenkins was a very nice teacher. She teaches us very well. And usually in my English class, we were assigned to either read a short story or just listen to a book of what the teacher is talking about, basically. And it was always fun. And also, I have to mention this because this is what this whole story time is about, and you'll see why. But I had a friend named Houston. Houston was a very nice kid. He was probably one of my most favorite friends of all time, and this all started when I basically went to this school in Raleigh, North Carolina called Governor Moorhead ever since I was in kindergarten, and it started off with me in the classroom, and me and Houston were just playing in the sand together, just having a lot of fun. And two of the most important things that we had in common is that we both used a cane, obviously. That's pretty obvious. And Houston had a favorite saying named "Do Not Eat the Dirt," and we said it so much that it got to the point where Houston's parents and my parents thought that we were crazy, and therefore they told us to stop saying "do not eat the dirt" because they were so tired and sick of it. But on this certain day, Houston actually said some of those things, except it was 10 times worse. On this certain day, I was in lunch class, and basically lunch, and basically what happened was I was eating my lunch, and after I ate my lunch, I basically finished early. The only thing I had was potatoes, some vegetables, and some meatloaf that day. That was what was on the menu. And basically, Houston told me to stand up. And the teacher walked up to us and was like, "Did you tell him to stand up, Houston?" And he was like, "I'm just pretending." Yeah, Houston would always pretend and always joke around just for fun. And he sat back down, or I sat back down basically, and I waited until 1 p.m. because lunch started at 12, and it was a 45-minute lunch period. And at 1 p.m., it was time for gym. And gym is when this whole experience kind of picks up. But before I get to the experience, let me tell you about my gym. So my gym was super duper big. It consisted of the main area where you would play basketball or any kind of sport. Also, there was a swimming pool that was located downstairs. There's a track where you could walk on to get your exercise upstairs. And in the same area where the main part where you play basketball is, there is a mat room which basically consisted of lots of exercise equipment, including a treadmill, an exercise ball, a fake sliding board thing that you can slide down on, and a bench that you could sit on, and trampoline. And the first thing that ever went on when I went into this mat room was the trampoline. And for some reason on this day, Houston wanted me to get off. I don't know why. He wouldn't explain. They just said, get off. And another classmate of mine called Balin, he proceeded to push me for some weird reason. I don't know why to this day. And Houston is trying to tell this kid to stop, and this kid's just not listening. So basically, I had no choice but to get off because they were just annoying me. So basically, I had to basically sit on the bench and just wait for Houston to get done with whatever he was doing. After he got done with that, he basically grabbed me by my hand, pulled me up, and me and him started walking around. And while we were walking around, me and him discovered a door that leads you outside. And me and him thought that it was going to be a good idea to walk at that door and basically go outside. And he was like, open the door. And my response to that should have been, no, I am not opening that door. Because clearly, if we would have went outside, the teacher would wonder where we were, and they would just think that we're missing, basically. And also, if I would have said no and walked away, it avoids what I'm about to tell you in the story time. And because I opened the door, the teacher basically called us, basically saying that we need to come back in now. And the teacher exactly said, come back in here, which we did. We didn't actually go fully outside because before we could do anything, we heard the teacher say something. And that was, come back in here. And after me and Houston shut the door, Houston was still standing next to me, keep in mind. But then I kind of walked away from him because I did not want to get in trouble, even though I've already gotten caught in the first place, so I couldn't really help. But then my teacher grabs me by my arm, basically took me out of the mat room and into the main area where I basically had to sit on the bleachers for the rest of the period, which sucked because I really loved being in that mat room. It was so fun. And it was so fun that I got to basically jump on the trampoline, even though on a certain day Houston told me to get off of it. But other days, it was a lot of fun being in there. And it sucked that I was placed in timeout. And I did not like that very much, but I basically had to sit there. And after that was over, I went to arts and crafts, enjoyed that class. And after that, the day was over. My mom took me up and took me home. And that is the end of the story. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And I will see you guys in the next video. God bless you all, and peace.